Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to East versus West.
Hey, everybody, welcome to another Sunday night casual with me, Dexter. Robert should be joining anytime soon. Sorry, I was a little tied up, so I kind of sent him the link a little late. But a couple of questions right off the gate. People are already planning for our event in Germany. So the question here from Gregor Knudsen is: do attendees for the event in April need both an EVW ticket and a FIBO ticket, or is FIBO access included? So before I answer that question, there's you also asked a follow-up question. And usually FIBO is open from 9 to 6. So at what time can we expect the EVW event to take place? So historically, anytime we have an event in Europe, it's always pretty late in the evening, anywhere from 7, 8 p.m. start time. This is to also accommodate people in the western part of the world in America. So they're just barely getting up. So that's why we are starting a little later. FIBO is, from my understanding, I've never been to FIBO, but when we were talking about with the FIBO team, FIBO is massive. They get hundreds of thousands of attendees, and so it's over across several buildings. And unfortunately, we are expecting a ton of people to come to our FIBO event. Therefore, we are having a lot more. We just require a lot more space now. Because of that, we are going to be off-site for our main event. It's going to be in its own separate building, where it will be in the same city, same town, but just not at the same location. However, we are working with them whereby our press conference will be within one of their facilities, and our press conference is going to be after hours, so which means you do not need a FIBO ticket to enter. So there's that. Let's see. Deeps is saying, I think the USD is about to crash. It might become cheap for foreigners to come to USA again. Yeah, I mean, several countries have strengthened, and the dollar value has been reduced. But I think it could also backfire a little bit, which means that the spending power for America has dropped. So the purchasing power for Americans have also dropped, which means the manufacturing countries like China or India or whoever that supplies to America might suffer a little bit. Okay, and we have Robert here. Hey, Robert.
Hello, Dexter.
Hey.
How's everything?
We just had people getting excited for Germany, and they're asking about tickets, FIBO access and whatnot. So,
okay, yeah.
Answering those. Let's see. You know who Jeremy Parker is, Robert?
Yeah, I know Jeremy.
He's a pretty. He's been very active in arm wrestling, and he's one of our biggest EVW fans as well. And I don't know, it seems like, and maybe correct me wrong, he is Michael Todd's protege of sorts, right?
Yeah. So he trains with Michael Todd. Michael, is very much excited about him, and he's got a good future. Yeah. So
he never fails.
He never
fails. He never fails to show up to any of our live stream. So.
Yeah, no, Jeremy's great. He's a big kid, strong kid, big future.
Yeah. There are a couple of people, including this one, Sir Dino Ziff, they're always asking about having an event in Canada. My answer is always the same. It's a visa issue.
Yeah, hopefully we can change that. But yeah, right now, visas are extremely hard to get in. Non-EU countries getting into Canada is actually harder than America, and America has gotten even harder with all the tensions with Russia and certain countries. So it's right now, I think almost impossible for us to have an event of any size in Canada, but that's where we want to be. Either Ottawa or Toronto, I think, will pull a lot of people, a lot of fans.
Yeah, especially with all the whole deal with the Nordic countries about Greenland.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not a good time, but it is what it is. Hey, GB. Let's see. Here's a good question. Maybe you can answer this, Robert. Brian Spornada is asking, what level do you consider Borman to be on? Top 20 or even top 10?
Well, Foreman is number 12. So he, by beating Pablo, who is number 12, he takes that place. So he is number 12.
There you have it. Yeah, we just don't show the complete ranks. We kept it at 10. So that's probably why most people don't know that, but that's a good. Another question. Def PR is asking, when will the results of the categories be announced? It will be announced in exactly 6 days when we have our award ceremony. So stay tuned. We will have that already live stream. Another question for you, Robert. Any plans to get Sarah Backman back on stage?
Yeah, we would like to get Sarah back. I'm not sure when that'll be. I think she's pretty much recovered from her injury. Snezhana Babaeva is reaching out to her. May have already reached out to her. So it's we're talking.
Wait, another one is updates on King of the Table. We're still going back and forth on this. We had plans, and then we changed the plans. So until something's concrete, it's still gonna keep morphing and evolving. I think EVW Sports, we're constantly, you know, it's almost like we're in a right now. My 7-year-old kid is learning about the 3 states of matter. And so it feels like we're still in a very liquid form. We're still finding where we could be at. We're still very nimble. I think we have to be nimble from a growing sport perspective. Somebody's joking, and DJ is asking, when will be the first American Greenland event? 51st state. Uh, uh, is Dennis pulling anytime soon?
Nothing scheduled. He did say that he's open to pulling. He needs a little bit of time to repair. Needs to make sense financially, of course. So nothing concrete yet as far as when and who.
Yeah. Yeah. He did say once he has a match, then he can train towards that match. But until he's being set, I think he's not quite there yet. That's pretty good. A lot of people who people are just saying how good of a job you guys are doing. Thank you, John Doe, 9042. Let's see, well, a lot of them. You guys are awesome. Thank you. And some are even asking about Trump versus Maduro Arkansas event. Winner gets Greenland.
I'd rather have Iceland, actually. Iceland is pretty cool. Love to go there and visit.
Iceland.
I have a friend there, arm wrestling friend.
Well, what's there in Iceland? I've never really studied.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's like it might be the most beautiful country. Hal Thor. He's from Iceland.
Okay.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of strong people, big, strong people in Iceland. Very small, but yeah, it's a beautiful country, unbelievably beautiful. I've never been there. I've just seen videos and pictures. I've been invited there by an arm wrestling friend of mine for years, and I've wanted to go.
Huh. Iceland sounds very cold.
No, it's not. It's no. So Greenland is very cold. So it's opposite. So you think Greenland would be green and and it's not. Greenland is like icy, right? Really super cold. And then Iceland is really green and really beautiful. So it's the opposite.
Either way, those two aren't quite on my bucket list just quite yet.
But it should be. Take a look at Iceland. I think you'll change your mind.
I'm gonna look into Iceland.
And my friend's been telling me for a long time to come and showing me videos and pictures. I mean, everybody that goes there that I've talked to loves it. A
The
lot of,
Nordic.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll go take a look at that later. People are asking about Fia and Sarah. Fia and Sarah, new category champion. Another one's asking for Ayane. Would she have a title match in Germany? Something to consider.
Yeah.
It,
We're,
isn't Germany's card pretty much set, completed?
yeah. Yeah. Germany's card is about the only thing that's not set is actually Ayane's match because we're trying to get her a match. And she wants to. So it's just making that happen on the other side is
Yeah.
it's not done yet.
Another one. Yeah. So the super chat by the Lucky Ones podcast. The ladies would love to see Sarah in the 70-kilogram title match. Yeah, she has been cutting weight. So there's that.
Yeah. Yep.
Another one that right after that, they are asking about thoughts on Larry Wheels.
Yeah, I'd love to get Larry back. I'm not sure where his level, it doesn't look like his level is where it was. I'm sure he's not been training for arm wrestling as much, but when he went to see Andrei Smayev in Russia, shows that he's interested in arm wrestling and interested in going to Russia to see Smayev, but they arm wrestled quite a bit, and he didn't fare very well. It might be because Smayev is just that much stronger. I mean, he was handling Schoolboy in a practice too, so it may not be Larry. I mean, Larry may be better than I think.
Yeah. I was told that Larry, because he does more than just arm wrestling, and he was just a hair worried for arm wrestling affected his other, bodybuilding side of his business.
Yeah.
That's why he was a little bit worried about that. But the other one that a few have been asking about, Robert, and I think you might have already kind of mentioned this, but it's again, yeah, sort of mentioning this again. It's Bowen and Grundy.
Yeah, I think it's a good match. I don't know who would win that one, and I guess that's a good thing. I mean, I don't know if I mean, I think if we did a poll, it would probably be pretty close to 50-50. It kind of depends on how Brad's feeling. I've asked Brad how he's feeling, and he said that he's feeling better and better. So he thinks he would be, soon he'll be feeling perfect. That's what he thinks.
Yeah, yeah. I've been seeing a little bit of sort of gentle banter between both of them on social media too. So
yeah,
potentially. But the biggest question of the night that we have, Robert, it is from the Diligent Student 9876. Robert, when are you pulling it in again? We need you back at the table.
Oh man, I wish that's my favorite part of arm wrestling is arm wrestling, and I haven't been able to do any of it with EBW and all the stuff we have to do. But I would love to get back into arm wrestling.
Yeah.
And get back into WAF again. I missed WAF for the first time in years and years. I missed it last year.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was early last year. I was already telling Robert, you got to do it and you got to train hard because there'll be a massive target on your back as the hit of EVW. Everybody's gonna, I beat Robert Baxter, so you gotta train harder.
Oh, yeah, thanks. I'd love to come back, and I've got to start training again. I actually haven't hit the gym at all, which is terrible, and haven't been pulling or practicing. But I've got to start because Ermis is coming into town in March, so and he'll want to pull. So I've got to get somewhat back in shape.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too difficult, right? I think I was watching a video that I think I confirmed with you about there are tiny nodules inside your muscles that even though over time that you kind of like you lose some of the muscle mass, but because because of those prior muscle mass that you have, they have those nodules that it can be reactivated to grow the muscles back really fast, a lot easier than if one were to start from scratch like myself, right? So I think
Oh yeah.
it'll be a lot easier for you to get back up in shape than me trying to even remotely have a chance to hold you.
Well, it's true that muscle memory is it's a real thing, and even more than muscle memory, tendons tend to keep their strength way better than muscle even. So, like if you've conditioned your tendons really well for arm wrestling, you could take a year off, 2 years off even, and come back in no time and be right back to where you were. So that's true, and it's not just true for muscles.
Yeah, yeah. I just think that I'm not I'm not quite there yet. I wish I have those built up, but it's sometimes I feel like, oh man, I'm really seeing like physical gains. I feel stronger.
Mm.
Um, I every couple of days, when I'm back in town, uh, several times a week, I go for some like spinal adjustments, and then it's not a chiropractic adjustment. It's one of those where you lie in a very uncomfortable position, and they'll put like 10 kilograms of force to pull my neck backwards and everything, and it's very very extremely uncomfortable. And you stay there for like 20 minutes, and by at the end of 20 minutes, they unhook everything up. It's like my back's paralyzed and and over time I feel like I can use my arms to pull my body weight up a lot easier. So I'm like, oh, I feel pretty good now, right? And then I go the next day I go arm wrestle somebody and I just get smashed so hard. I'm like, man,
Yeah,
it
the
must be just
problem
up
there,
in my head.
it's hard because if you're pulling with arm wrestlers who've been training for a long time, it's really hard
Yeah.
to get to a high level like that. I mean, there really is. People say it all the time. There are levels in arm wrestling. There are so many levels. It'd be interesting to study to figure out how many levels there really are in arm wrestling. And
Ooh.
by level, I mean going from um, beating someone to losing to someone. I mean, so I mean the difference between even slamming someone and getting slammed is not very much. It's just a few percent. I mean, like maybe 5% at the most. It's very slight. It's interesting, but it'd be cool to see a study or actually spend the time to figure out scientifically how many levels there really are, as much as we can figure it out. I mean, it would be basically based on the definition of levels, right? So you figure out the definition of a level, and I would say even make it as big as from from being slammed to slamming somebody. You know,
Mm.
even if that's a level, there are so many levels in arm wrestling. I don't even know how many, based on that, there would be.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if you're breaking everything down by the grams of weight somebody can pull, but there's so many directions, right? There's so many
mhm,
back pressure, side pressure, verticals. But then the other one is also like the pronation, uh, uh, and then there's the final thing that I think it's speed, right? Who twitches
mhm.
faster at the go, right? So yeah, it's not quite as straightforward as before. That
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, of course, that adds a lot of dimensionality to it. But if you just like, it's so hard. I mean, by the time you add all those variables, it'd be pretty impossible. But if you just did it based on one thing, one metric, let's just call it, one move. Let's say it's a hook, and let's just say it's just um, a half hook, or I mean, let's define it even. Take one movement and one um, you know uh, arm wrestling move and measure that. How many levels there are there? Now you start introducing all the different variables, then it messes. I mean, it gets super complicated. But just that, I think we could say, okay, let's see how many levels there are with just one technique. Let's just be super simple and let's just say a half hook or a power hook or whatever.
Yeah, we gotta get you on, Robert. Can you commit to pull, maybe in an exhibition style, maybe not exhibition, maybe in the out in our extended pulls? Can you commit to that?
I'd have to get ready. I would get killed by everybody right now.
Uh,
Which would probably be good, probably sell a lot to, send to people.
people
But
do need people need to be reminded, because I think you did pull at ease versus what, 6, right? Or was it 6 or 7?
6.
6, right?
Mhm.
And the your opponent over there, though you've lost, but you beat your opponent a couple weeks prior to that. So
A
at the
couple,
WAC,
no, yeah, no, it was like 3 months
or 3 months.
prior to that. So that was in January of 2023. Uh, yeah, so it was like, I think it was October, so like 3 or 4 months, 3 months probably before.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you were no slouch. You are pretty good. Uh, Another one is probably GB6XQ is asking, is Leonidas polling at the Germany event? Him versus Brian Shaw, that would be very nice in his home country. Well, I guess I have news for you. That is exactly what's going to happen.
Yep.
That has been somewhat announced already. We just didn't want to hype it up too much or put too much focus on it because it draws away attention from Vienna. But that announcement has been had, and that is going to happen. So,
Yeah, and
what's up?
Leonidas is also promoting that pretty heavily on his channels,
Yeah.
and also Brian Shaw.
Yep.
We just haven't promoted it very much on our channels yet, but we will.
Yes. Yes. Another. I'm not sure how to answer this question because technically it's addressed to you, but it's also in a way where uh I know how you answer it, but here's the question: do you think Devin has a chance to defeat Vitaly on the left arm?
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, I do. 100%.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
to
mean,
clarify, I think Robert meant there is 100% there is a chance. But what is the chance? Do you think?
oh, what is the chance?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know, it's so hard for me, and I'm not saying this in a biased way of any. I mean, this is what I really think. I think it can go either way. I really don't know. I mean, I mean, I can look at it from two different ways. One is the tally is bigger and stronger than it's ever been. I mean, like this is a new version of the tally. So based on that, you could say Vitaly's going to crush Devin. I mean, and even right-handed have a great match and possibly, be. I mean, I think he might be the guy that could beat Levon, even though I wouldn't give that a 50-50 by any means. I mean, so if you look at it from that perspective on where Vitaly is strength-wise right now, pretty impressive. I mean, I'd be afraid, for anybody going against him right now. But if you look at it from the perspective of where Devin is, Devin's not been really focused on his left very much until last year, and now his left has really made some big gains. But he also showed I've said this before on another podcast, but um, in EVW 15, I don't, you were there, Dexter. That was in November of 2024. Um, the after poll, so Devin was actually, I don't know how, he probably wasn't very tired because he had a pretty easy day with Petrenko that day. But in the after poll, um, that was recorded, right after the match or right after the event, um, he got Morozov's wrist to go. I mean, which was pretty surprising, and he was only 105 kgs. Now on that day, I'm sure he was way more than that, but he weighed in the day before at 105 kgs. So a 232-pound version of Devin got Morozov's wrist to go, and Morozov had complete control of Vitaly in February of last year, in EVW 16. So, I mean, until he got injured, I thought, oh man, Morozov is going to kill Vitaly. I mean, and that's how it was looking. So, based on those two things, I would say Devin has a very good chance with Vitaly. But, I don't know which side to look at. Do you look at Vitaly has become a monster in the last 12 months? I mean, I would say, something along those lines. I mean, he's a different version of himself. Or do you look at the EVW 15 and EVW 16 results from Vitaly and Devin with Morozov after pull? I don't know. That's really why I don't know.
But I think that's what makes it great, because you don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
But all we know is it's going to be a war. It's going to be good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can't wait to see. I really am unsure completely. I will be shocked if it's not a war. If Vitaly just crushes Devin, I'll be shocked. I don't think that's going to happen, actually. Devin's too smart. He's too he just has too many different options, and I mean, the guy is probably the smartest table IQ that's out there on the planet, and understandably so. He's 50 years old. He's been pulling for years and years and years, and he pulls everybody, and he pulls practically every day, and sometimes more than once a day. So, as far as table time goes, I don't think anybody could compare to Devin. So, I mean, and then as far as table IQ goes, I don't think anybody compares to Devin either. So, if Vitaly smashes him, I would be shocked, absolutely shocked. And then if it goes to a long match ever, um, Devin's endurance level is off the charts. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be fast either way.
We'll have a good time. Best of 7. The next one we have is there a chance we'll see Svetan?
Yeah, there is. We've got to work. We've got to get Svetan in good graces with WAF in order for that to happen. But I would love nothing more for that to happen. And anything we can do to move it along, um, we will do. And I've been talking to Svetan as well, asking him to get with WAF, because it really needs to be between him and WAF. And yeah, anything we can do to help, I'll gladly do it. But right now, it's in Svetan's court to work out whatever he can to get off the suspended list. And
Yeah.
it's not suspended for drugs. I mean, a lot of people think, oh, he had he had some illegal chemicals or whatever. It wasn't that. So we just have to get that resolved. And I would love nothing more than Svetan to come into EVW. And he also feels the same way, by the way. He really wants to come onto the EVW stage as soon as he can.
Another question I have for you: how many times have you beaten John Brzing, Robert?
You mean in practice, or because we've never actually? No, actually, we have pulled. We've been in different weight divisions in over the years, and he's stayed out of my weight division. Like, I mean, because obviously he probably would have just crushed me, but he's let me. John's been very nice to me over the years, and then when when we were in the same weight division, um, he beat me, but in a very nice way. So like he would, you know, John's that way, and unless you make him angry, he's actually, pretty easy on you. I mean, but so he's not just crushing you when he could. But if you're talking about practices, well, everybody beats John at practice, because by the end of practice, John's tired. But there have been cases where I beat him early on, fresh for fresh. But it's been cases where I think every one of them are cases where he's not 100% or he's injured. And there's one of those cases where, actually two cases where he was, I mean, I was fresh for fresh with him, and I was beating him. And I'm like, hey, John, what's going on? Like, are you okay? He's like, no, my wrist is bothering me, or my wrist is a little injured, or whatever. And that was before he went to a big event. I mean, huge event, and he got beat. But then he never gave an excuse as to why he wasn't 100% ever. He never even mentioned it. He just gave all the credit to his opponent every time. But I knew that he was injured because I could beat him at practice, fresh.
What weight class do you compete in, Robert? Because there are some asking who would win between you and Ryan Bowen.
Oh, right now Ryan would kill me, I think. I mean, and Ryan's quite a bit heavier than he normally is too. So I normally compete at at WAF early days. I was in the 110 kg, which is 242-pound class. And I've been, normally I've been pulling 100 kg, 220-pound class. And I started out pulling at the 90 kg, 198-pound class for years in that class. And yeah, so I've been all over the board, but typically I've been more in the 110 kg for WAF. That's the WAF standard, right? 110.
Right.
And then for us, it's 115,
105,
105. Yeah.
115. The other one next is we have Yaron Music asking, will we see Reno Masick anytime soon?
Yeah, we've been talking to Reno for a while. Yeah, of course, he's been injured, but also he's been real careful not to pull in pro events. And there's something he explained it, and I couldn't quite understand. I mean, he speaks perfect English, but I couldn't quite understand why this is a problem. But he's getting funding from the Olympic, some kind of Olympic committee from his country, um, and and it's tied to something bigger like the Olympics. But it's um, he needs to pull mostly an amateur, which is the WAF, right? So, but he said sometime towards summertime or beyond is when he's thinking he'll be able to pull again for EPW.
Yeah, we've missed him for quite a while, at least over a year now. I think was it 15 his last event?
Um, it was 15 was last. That's when he got
15
injured.
was his last event. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's been a while. He did pretty well there too.
Oh, he did great. Yeah, but he was injured and nobody knew it because he won. But
I didn't know it. It was my first event.
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
Another one is, will EVW have a booth or presence at Arnold's?
No,
You haven't thought about it though. It might not be a bad thing to have some sort of a booth experience in, because really to convert somebody into arm wrestling, really the best thing to do, honestly, is to grip up, in my opinion.
uh-huh.
Something to
It's not
consider.
a bad idea. I mean, we should definitely look into that. It's just there's so many other priorities
Mhm.
for us right now.
We should have a nice big booth in at FIBO for sure, though, Robert,
Yeah,
since we are already
FIBO.
there.
Yeah, and people in the U.S. and North America don't understand probably, and I didn't either, that FIBO is way bigger than Arnold Classic, like
Oh
by
yeah,
orders of magnitude. So it's much, much bigger. Uh, we're talking 30 different buildings around in Germany this year and 100,000 attendees. So it's
155,000 last year.
yeah. So
Crazy.
that like you say, Dexter, under promise and over deliver, right? So we don't want to like people have a hard time believing that there's something this big. I mean, that FIBO is really that big. But the FIBO owner, you know this as well. The FIBO
Mhm.
owner met Devin for the first time in Riyadh about 6 months ago, and fell in love with Devin, and really hit it off, and wants to have EVW and Devin in FIBO as much as possible. So he's a huge fan now. Um, so so in the future, when we have more time to do more with FIBO, this year it had already been set. We didn't really have enough time to pull it off, but yeah, next year I think doing something really big, and and even later this year, different parts of the world with FIBO, I think would be great. I would probably, I think we'll get more mileage out of that than we would with Arnold Classic right now.
There's another one asking about, at one point we kind of were thinking about opening up some sort of viewer slash fan investment possibility. We kind of shied away from that because this is a question being asked, Robert. We kind
Oh,
of shied away from doing that after some further discussion. But yeah,
well,
maybe
we
in the
just
future.
we just haven't gone any further with that. But
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's a good idea to do something, even if it's just really de minimis. I think it's good because it basically makes everybody owners, right? I mean,
invested.
like even a small little amount, like owning one share of Apple, people feel, I mean, they're more invested in Apple, right? They're more
Right.
a part of it, or Tesla or Nvidia or whatever. So I mean, I think it's a great idea. Um, just if nothing else, just for more unity and more, you know, more hardcore fans, because now they're a part of it. It's easier to be really excited about something when you're an owner.
Yeah. Let's see. Some people are talking about the legacy gauntlet, hammer, etc. I think we kind of covered it quite a bit extensively yesterday, so we'll kind of skip that for today for the most part. Uh,
Well, we
but
can answer a little bit, I think, because I read some of the comments, and they didn't like, a lot of people didn't like the fact that we're looking at doing something like the Marvel series, where it started with a Thor's hammer, then it went to the Infinity Gauntlet, and then
Stormbreaker now.
yeah, then ultimately the Stormbreaker defeats them all, which is kind of half hammer, half axe, right? I mean, so but
Because
a lot of the
so yesterday I was talking to Devin, and he said that, well, I just point blank asked him, why didn't you bring the hammer and give it directly to Dennis? And because he had somebody else deliver it for him, and he said like it's a pain to get a weapon like a hammer through customs as well to security, right? And so then it got me to, and I know we had this discussion before, and then I just thought about, well, if the idea is to etch the names of the wielder, which is at one point you could say I'm literally the strongest left arm or right arm in the world right now, right? We will need a bigger surface area to keep this going
yeah,
for decades, right? So then something that would be probably pretty easy, and I checked online, that could go through as a check-in is a shield of sorts.
yeah,
Flat surface. Well, it can be rounded, but it's flat surface. I mean, there's a lot of sports. Tennis has it. The soccer community has it. The community shield. So the shield could be not like literally like a defensive type of shield, but like just a ornamental plate of a pretty large size, and you can slowly etch, and then if you want, we can retroactively go a couple of years back, or I don't know how we can talk about it later, but that's the also another idea. So we don't have to make it into a weapon-ish kind of thing.
yeah.
So
I mean, we could probably go back even further, because it'd be cool to go back to the PAL days, PAL champions, and then WAL champions, and then EVW
mhm.
champions, and just keep adding from there. So you could have um, more of a chronology of through the years. But you're right, we would run out of room at some point, probably pretty quickly,
But
especially
if
if
you
we
get a
went
big
back in
one,
time.
a
Yeah,
big one. You're good
unless
for
we
like
get a shield, right?
yeah.
So we probably ought to um, put that out there to the fans as well. I mean, because if you run a real true legacy hammer or legacy um, trophy of some sort, yeah, it probably needs to be a much larger surface. I think you're right.
Yeah. I based on one of the fan comments yesterday, there's a show called Forged in Fire. It's on the History Channel where they have guests make weapons or just met, metal crafting, blacksmithing, right? So I sent them an email saying, "Hey, we have an idea for a trophy, and would you like to do a collaboration? So if anybody knows the producers at Fortune Fire, reach out to them for us because I think that would be a pretty cool collab. Just like the Diesel, maybe the Diesel brothers can make it. No, Diesel brothers more on the mechanical side of things, but you see what I'm saying? One of those collabs, like our trophy
Hmm.
is made, from a pretty big TV show, and
Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be cool.
yeah, I thought that'd be pretty fun. Um, there are people asking about Arm Wrestling Showcase, asking if they would like to participate in the rev share. So again, if you want to participate in the revenue share, let's have you send me an email, and then within the next few days, I will review and send you some paperwork back. Now, I did clarify to people that it's not everybody will be accepted. Uh, you know, it's also based on some viewership counts as well, right? So there's that. Somebody's asking if we saw Levant's casino game. Yeah, he did show us a demo of it when we met him in Switzerland, I believe. Oh, this is Randy, by the way, Robert, with 98.
Oh yeah, Randy, cool.
Yeah, Randy's a cool guy.
Yeah,
Cool guy.
yeah, Randy's great.
Another one's asking, CBLA is asking, is Arthur Makarov pulling soon?
I well, how do you want me to answer this, Dexter? You don't like me announcing things too much.
uh,
Do you
just
know the
say,
answer?
well, you don't tell them when, and don't tell them who he's against with, and just say yes or no. And the idea is we just don't want to pull the attention away from Vienna, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all. So
So the answer is yes.
the answer is yes, and
Mhm.
no follow-up questions on those guys. That's not happening because the Vienna card is so good, and I think Germany might be a hair better. I don't know, but it might be just as good.
I
It's really
actually
hard to
think
say. It's really hard
this
to say.
doesn't really help us promotion wise, but I think Vienna is fantastic.
I know.
But I think that Cologne, Germany, is the best card, and I'm not just saying this, the best card in history, not just EVW history, the best card, period, in arm wrestling history. And I think everybody will agree with that when they see the card. It's truly amazing.
Yeah. But here's the one component, right? I think the best card can come from different, well, if you see it from a different perspective, mm, one perspective is on paper, theoretically, might be good, but in actuality, it could be something else. Now, example. Now, for me, and a lot for the community as well, everybody was thinking East versus West 21 in Atlantic City was very mediocre. It wasn't very exciting. But we had so many insane matches there, so many upsets that I mean, one of the nominated best match of the year, no, the best round of the year, was also it took place in that event, right? So I when sometimes I know you say it's the best card ever, I'm like, ooh, it is the best card on paper, but even our subsequent events, right? 24, EBW 24, 25, 26, right? I think it will every event we shouldn't just judge it on paper how good it is because every match itself, even in the prelims, we'll get some pretty good matches. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I'm not saying it's not, we're not gonna have a better card later on, but to date, I
yeah,
think,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Vienna's gonna be fantastic on paper, and I think it'll be fantastic in person. But like I said, I think Vitaly and Devin will be a killer match. I just don't know which way it's gonna go, but it's not going to be, um, you know, it's not gonna be easy for any one of them, is my prediction. Um, and and then Godzilla and Petrenko. I
Hmm.
I really don't know who's going to win that one. Um, I think the polls. I mean, the fans are more 50-50 on that. Um,
Yeah,
but you never know. I mean, maybe it's not like that, but I think it will be. And I think most people think that Michael Todd is going to beat Camille, no problem. And judging by how he pulled Jerry, um, ADVW 21, I think it will be more of a problem for Michael because the way to beat Michael is either, I mean, pressing is the way to beat him, right? But when do you press him? That's the question. And at what point in the match and how, you know, how do you press him? So if Camille knows how to press him, and maybe it's just a matter of strength, a certain amount of strength, you're just going to press through Michael Todd's lock. But I don't know. I mean, I would have to give the edge personally. I would have to say that Michael is the favorite, and no matter how I look at it, he's probably. I mean, I would be surprised if he didn't win, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Camille beats him by by pressing him, and that's the way to beat him. He just has to know how to press him, and I don't know if he does or not. I just can't answer that. But um, and those are just three matches, right? We've got a full card of matches that are very, very, I mean, really amazing. People don't even
yeah.
know some of these guys that are on the card, but I can promise these are future champions coming on the card, debuting in the preliminaries.
Yeah, and for those that aren't aware that a lot of the newer guys that you may not have seen and showing up for the first time, those were actually uh, picked up from coming to one of the tournaments at the tournaments prior to East versus main event. So
Yeah,
if you would like a shot, I would say come to one of our tournaments. So the next one coming up obviously is in Vienna, the Challenger Cup. Go there because that's where Robert and Stanzana, that's where they're scouting for new talents. So that's a pretty good because I get a lot of emails, Robert, about how can we get an invite to be on the main stage. This is
yeah.
it. Go to the tournament.
That's it.
Cool.
Well, and apparently people don't know, I don't know if the message just hasn't gotten out there right, but they're thinking that if they go to one of our tournaments, they automatically qualify to be on the EBW stage. I know Ryan Bowen said that in one of his podcasts that he qualified twice by going to Chicago and winning two divisions, and that's not a qualifier. And so I think we need to do a better job of explaining that to people so that everybody knows that there hasn't been qualifiers forever. Um, the last qualifier in the United States was 2024. Um, and I think Orlando was the last, so August of 2024, I think was the last qualifier there. So we aren't doing qualifiers that way anymore, but we are looking at the tournaments to select. And in fact, what we're going to start doing is whenever there's a tournament, which we're going to try to do every time, but not, can't guarantee every time, but every time that we can have a tournament the day before or even the day of, before the main event, we're going to select somebody or two people from that tournament to be on the main stage or in the prelims every time. So somebody in that tournament is going to get selected immediately for the final match will be a super match. So anyway, that's happening for sure. And then if you look at EVW 22 in Vienna, 4 of the people from previous tournaments that we've had are pulling on that stage. Or actually, there's five on that card. So, um, 2 of them are coming from Atlantic City, and then 3 of them are coming from the Swiss Open. So yeah, that's the way to get on. I mean, and it's not always that way. I mean, sometimes we pick the people from WAF champions. Sometimes it's from MAC, which is a league that's we have a close association with. And it could be, and then with Jason Merlo, it was an event in Utah that I went and saw, with the top 8 guys in the 200-pound class, and that was where we got Jason. I mean, and I'd watched Jason before, but watching him upset everybody, all of the best 200-pounders in North America, so easily, both right and left-handed. It's like, okay, you've earned a spot on EVW for sure. In fact, I'm talking to Jason today. I've been talking to him and yesterday about coming on again in the EVW stage, but this time right-handed, because right hand is actually his most dominant. I mean, that's his strongest hand. Left-handed, he's very good, and he believes, and I believe too, he's a little more technical with his left, not as strong, but his right arm is clearly his favorite arm.
Yeah. So there you have it. Come to our tournaments. That's like the best advice for everybody else. There's a super chat by Tendon and Bone. Robert, they're asking about a medieval forearm bracers as the new belts. It's so unique. And he's asking us if we want to see it. So
Yeah.
forearm bracer. So
Yeah, let's see it.
yeah, send it to my email, and if it's pretty quick, I could probably pull it up here and maybe see what the community thinks.
Everybody knows your email is dexter@evwsports.com.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I sometimes put it in the description. Let's see. Oh man, I'm like 30 minutes behind in the messages. Here's another super chat. I want Fia versus current 70-kilogram WAF champion in April. People are asking for Fia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have too many matches in April, but maybe if we make more of them prelims, we can fit it on that way. But yeah, we did try to get that to happen in Vienna actually with Fia, but her opponent, the WAF champ, wasn't able to make it. So anyway, they're on the right track. That's exactly who we want.
Yeah. Let's see. The next one would be some people are getting a lot of snow today, even in Texas.
Yeah, Texas. And then I talked to Michael Todd today, said he's got 6 inches of snow in Arkansas, which is unheard of.
Yeah, a lot of even religious activities were suspended today because of this couple inches of snow.
Yeah, if they're
I guess
not ready for it, yeah.
Yeah, they don't have snow tires there. Let's
Or snow blowers or snow
or
removal
shovels.
machines. Yeah, or just for the highways and for the freeways. I mean, no snow removal, that can cause serious problems.
Right. Let's see. White Rabbit watch reviews. Huh, I gotta go check you out. Let's see. The next one is about a couple of people are asking if EFA athletes can compete at EVW tournaments.
You know, IFA athletes, they're everything is through WAF, and to be on the EVW stage, they've got to be.
Oops. Robert dropped off for a second. Oh, there we
But
go.
there may have been, I'll have to ask Yvonne how he's doing that because he's actually really organizing that with the Austrian Arm Wrestling Federation. Yeah, that's a good question to see how they're monitoring that. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah. Another question is we should get Andrei
But I know
Smayev to the.
Yvonne
Sorry, go
is
ahead.
president of the Swiss WAF Federation. So
Yeah.
yeah, so he's very tight in with WAF.
So this question about from Gregor Knudsen is about Andrei Smyev's coming to FIBO, and then we'll take care of him, and he'll bring us a lot of publicity. From our understanding, Andrei Smyev is not interested in traveling whatsoever. There was a video. No, well, I don't know if it's no. Sorry, it's not a video. I was talking to Kirill Sarichev, and Kirill, because I was trying to get hold of Andrei Smayev through Kirill, and Kirill was like, "Dude, I offered him an apartment, right? And all you do is just come train with me for a month." And Andre said, "Nope, not traveling. I'm not traveling to where you are, even though they're around the same place." So, not quite sure what the whole situation is, and I believe that's why Larry went to Russia to go find Andre instead the other way around. So, something to consider. Let's see. Smile's a big billboard. I mean, he's a big guy, so naturally his billboard is pretty big. Back again, Robert. Yeah, just a whole bunch of Andre Smayev thing that he's not willing to travel, but he is. Oh man, he has so much potential.
Yeah, I know that he doesn't want to travel. We're trying to get him to though.
Yeah,
So if we can make that happen, that'll be big. I mean, this guy is a monster and a good arm wrestler.
yeah. Let's see. Oh, people are speculating Arthur and Mindaugas 100% in April. Things like that. 100, yeah. Apparently, they know more about than we do. Some people are commenting, supporting Mayan. A lot of people are saying Mayan's super likable. Another one's actually, Mayan's actually on the chat here, Robert.
Oh, good.
Mayan.
What's Mayan
And
say?
Mayan's dropping a hint for his next opponent. He's saying Zurab with a winky face emoji.
Well, we've got somebody for him. I've got to let Mayan know. I think he'll like it.
I think you like it, Mayan. I think
Yep.
that's yeah. You like this one. Let's see. Oh, I don't know who you are. Jack says, I wasn't sure if Dexter, then I met him at 21 and he's goal. And I disagree. I don't think I can get I don't think I'll get a medal in arm wrestling just quite yet. No, actually I understood what he meant, but
You know what we ought to do, Dexter? We ought to do like a poll to see the fans, who the fans want to see Mayan pull. That would be interesting to see because we did promise the fans that we would give certain matches, we'd give them, you know, kind of a voice, and I think
sure.
this would be a good one. Let's see, because I think I know the best person for Mayan, and I think it's better than what Mayan's thinking. But I'd like to see what the fans think.
Huh. Well, if you have thoughts, maybe you can share it. I don't know. Do you think it might be appropriate for you to share who you think it is and see what the fan says about it too? Polls on YouTube
Yeah.
only limits us to 4 options, so it's kind of tricky. We kind of put
Yeah.
an entire list there, but
Yeah.
we could narrow it down to
Yeah.
4 and see what they think of the 4, really.
To ask them what they think and hear about Artem Tainov.
Artem Tainov. Okay, well, there you guys have it. Right now, I'm about 10 minutes behind, so we'll see those comments in a second. Are we gonna have an expo? Well, sorry, a booth in FIBO?
We did talk about that, and FIBO would do it for sure. We probably should. We'll just have to have some more manpower
Yeah,
or woman power.
yeah. I think we should. There's 150,000 people going through those doors. We'll be able to convert a decent amount of people. We'll get some of our arm wrestlers to just sit there and says, "Beat me, and you'll get a free 50-pound protein shake case."
Yeah.
Knowing that it'll never leave the shelf.
Yeah.
and to make it even better, we'll use a 95-kilogram guy over there beating monster-sized looking guys, and it will create a lot of viral videos, Robert. Like, these monsters can't even beat the small guys.
We could use a 70 kg guy. We could use Daniel Ustinov, our 70 kg champ, and that would do it. Nobody's going to beat him unless you're a very good arm wrestler.
Well, okay, but if somebody comes in at 125 kilos, 130 kilos, right? But he's a power lifter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You don't think it matters?
No.
Okay.
No. If they're not an arm wrestler, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, I guess you can always just surprise them with some back pressure, and all of a sudden whoops, you're pulling me away.
If you want to be really safe, we could do 77 kg, and then it won't matter. I promise it won't matter.
That would have such good content, Robert, though, right? Such a great content. Tiny guys beating the big dudes.
Yeah.
Maybe just for that, it's even worth
it. We should probably do it. Well, yeah, we'd have to find somebody that's not pulling. That's the problem. Our lighter weight.
We'll find some special guests to be there.
Yeah.
We'll find some special guests. Maybe it's maybe Travis Bajan can go hang out there. He'll be able to help us create some viral videos.
Yeah, he's good. He can. He's very entertaining. Did you see his viral video at the? It was with the NFL Network about a year and a half ago, when he was doing a little interview and he's arm wrestling some of the commentators from the NFL Network. Remember that one?
I saw
that. That was pretty.
He was
good.
pretty witty on that too.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, that one's pretty funny. Let's see. When is the next US event? I believe it's June 6th, right?
That's right.
At Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yeah, that's where it's looking right now. We haven't got anything signed yet, but that's what it's looking like, is Little Rock, Arkansas.
Okay. Mine dropped us a super chat. Germany with a triple dot. So there's that. Arkansas in June, 20 inches in North Jersey. Oh, okay. So somebody sent an email about the forearm bracer. What do you think about Gabor versus Schoolboy, or Gabor versus Rickard?
I think Rickard's too strong.
It's too strong. Too strong, too quickly.
Yeah.
Very good.
I really think Rickard, I know Gabor is a WAF champion, super heavyweight. Yeah, Rickard is on a different level. He really is. And getting stronger all the time, by the way.
Yeah, did you see Duvan's I think it was with 98. Duvan did a podcast with 98 yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it was quite interesting because he was saying something, and that because his arm is so much longer than pork chop, so he started out in a poorer position. And and do you have any advice for that, Robert, for somebody who has a longer lever against
Yeah,
somebody shorter, so that
yeah.
he
So I
doesn't start
mean,
that way? What would you say
yeah.
to that?
So either you drop your hand, to get the right height, which I would prefer to do it that way.
Mhm,
Um, I mean, especially it depends on what you're going for and what you're stylistically going up against.
mhm,
But for a low hand top roller, you'd want to drop your hand for sure. That's basically what they do anyway. That's how they pull. So that would be the best. If you're not a low hand top roller, or if you're not comfortable with that movement or any of those movements, then you move your elbow to the back of the pad and keep more of an angle, more of the knuckles up angle.
so tighter. Mhm.
Yeah, but
That's what I would imagine.
mhm.
Okay, well, that's good. I'm pulling up the picture. Let me see if I can find the picture. Apparently, he just sent me an email with the bracer. Okay, I'm seeing it. I'm going to share it on screen, and maybe the chat can tell me what they think about it. Here you go. A forearm medieval bracer.
I like that better than the shield, I have to say.
The only thing is there's a lot less surface area to put the names of the champions.
Yeah, that's true. That's the only drawback of it. Maybe
Hmm,
just make it a really big forearm brace.
a big forearm brace. Yeah. Yeah. So there you have it. Thank you, Tendon and Bone. That's his idea. Maybe.
Great.
We haven't settled on anything yet, so maybe you don't do anything. There are people also just called out, we don't need anything else. Just keep our belts, because the belt alone is enough to signify that you are, the best in the world in that category. The only thing is, from a chronologically legacy perspective, that was the idea for the
Yeah.
head,
Yeah,
which
we wouldn't have to have anything. I mean, does UFC even have anything other than a belt? I don't know
oh,
if they do, but maybe I'm wrong. But
that's a good
yeah,
question.
I don't think we have to. But I think it would be cool to have
It
something that you
is.
can pass on. I think it would be cool to have a legacy, whatever. If it's not a hammer, if the surface area is not big enough to have all of the people for the different, throughout the generations, then a shield or the forearm brace.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Somebody's asking, I would like to have a match with Dexter as a beginner. Great, come to Vienna. Come find me after the event, or sometime on Sunday, Sunday. We'll pull. Have fun. I usually don't try to pull before the event, because being a beginner, it's if I exert too much, my arm gets sore, like sometimes sore enough that it's a little uncomfortable kind of carry things. So, and it may affect Saturday main event. So, but Sunday or the day after, it's great. Well, but here's the funny part though. Sometimes I do that, and then if I'm traveling with Robert, and then Robert now has to go carry my suitcases. It,
We've had that happen before.
I think we were coming back from where was it? I think, was it Istanbul? And I got
Yeah.
super sick from I had food poisoning or something, and I was just literally like fever and everything. And I was just leaning on Robert at the airport waiting for our luggage, and he was carrying all my bags, and it was pretty funny.
There's another time though that you were, I think it was also in Istanbul. It was an after poll. Remember when um, it was Devin was there, Hermes was there, and it was
15, was it 15? You're talking about 15?
15. Yeah, it was after that, and you hurt your arm a little bit,
That was
Yeah,
the
and so you
worst.
couldn't carry much on that one either.
That was the worst because I literally that was my first arm wrestling event. Didn't know the concept of anything other than side pressure. And then when I pulled and I heard like two pop sounds, and I'm pretty sure something went wrong because for the next 3 to 4 months, I could not do any supination.
Mhm.
Like anytime I supinate, it hurts. So it was kind of a weird. So it was a weird thing. So I couldn't even get my bags up from the overhead bin. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was. Now it doesn't hurt that much anymore. Like even though I go pretty hard, it might be a couple hours and then it kind of goes away. But it's so. But I still don't want to risk anything.
So you're
Uh,
100%? I mean, on that injury from back in EVW
oh yeah,
15?
yeah. It
Okay.
doesn't bother me anymore. If anything, I would like to think about it. Think of it as it made me stronger.
Oh, it did. It made you stronger.
Hopefully so. But yeah, it's super fun. Now everywhere I go, like I always try to wear an East versus West shirt just so that it's a very easy conversation starter, right?
Mhm.
Oh, what's that shirt about? I'm like, well, here, let me show you about it, a thing of two. And it's fun. It's fun when everybody understands arm wrestling just a little bit more, even if it's like 2 minutes, and you just give them the concept about there's other dimensions other than going just a side pressure. You can go back and forth and hooks and top roll. Everybody's like, wow, I didn't even think about that. It's like, yeah.
Mhm.
So use that to go beat your buddies next time, right? Things like that. But yeah, it's so much fun. Somebody says UFC does not have a legacy uh, uh, trophy.
Yeah. Okay.
But then again, arm wrestling has been around a lot longer than MMA. A lot longer. I think arm wrestling. I think the first federation started was it in the 70s?
Well, WAF started in 77.
There we go. Yeah,
But then before that, um, I mean, US, WAF started in North America, but then before that, there was Petaluma, and I can't remember the date for Petaluma, but it was before 77. Um, so yeah, so it was, I want to say it was in the 60s that, yeah, somebody will be on here. If you get Eric Rosen, I can't remember how to pronounce his name. He's like a history buff for arm wrestling. Or we let the arm wrestling historian
yeah,
channel tell us exactly. But yeah,
yeah.
it's sometime certainly before WAF, and I think it was in the 60s.
Robert, somebody mentioned Dexter. It only hurts the first 25 years.
No, it hurts after that. I can tell you because I've been more than 25 years and it still hurts. But it
I
does hurt less.
It does hurt less, huh? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty good. Another one saying make the legacy gold or a platinum sword. I don't know about that. The thing is, it's getting those equipment or trophies through security.
Oh,
It's always a big headache. It's always a big headache.
yeah. Yeah. They,
We
they, they want to see it. They want to, yeah. Even our gauntlet, they had problems with, getting it. Like when we were bringing it in for the first time.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah. I mean, they wanted to see it. They were like, okay, they open it up, they inspect it, that they wouldn't even let it, um, go through the first part of the security. But anyway, yeah, a weapon would be pretty hard.
yeah. Uh, Here's a super chat, Robert. Who's who's got the biggest hand you felt?
Biggest hand I felt was Jeff Dabe. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's a no
and
brainer.
and and he's only 5'8", so he's a small in stature, but massive hand.
Jeff Dave. He's only 5'8", huh? Oh,
Yeah, only 5'8".
all right. Yeah, it's hard to tell because he has such massive arms. I would like
Yeah,
to meet Jeff Dapes sometime.
he's a super nice guy. Yeah,
You could
very,
tell,
very.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You could tell, because there's a lot of documentaries about him that I've
Yep.
seen years ago about him. Now to know that, okay, that's good. They are.
I have a picture. I put his wedding ring in my wife's and Julie's palm, and it fills her palm. His wedding was like it's this massive. It's almost unbelievable.
Ooh, Jeff Dapes. How do you even? Wow. I think I'm probably just holding his thumb at that point when I'm on, because I have a lot smaller hands. I'll be just holding onto his arm, his thumb.
Yeah.
Let's see. The other one is 1969. Somebody's mentioning 1969. Promoter Dave DeVotto had a contract with ABC, putting arm wrestling championship on national television. So it's been a long time. Somebody did mention, I mean, technically, medieval times, people have arm wrestle over 1,000 years ago. I believe that
No,
happens.
arm wrestling has been around since probably. I'm sure Adam and and maybe he even arm wrestled Eve, but for sure his sons. For sure he arm wrestled his sons. So yeah, so it's been going on for at least that long.
That's funny. That's funny. How big was Cleve Dean's hand?
Cleve D's hand was huge, but Jeff Dape's was bigger. Um, yeah, Cleve, yeah, his hand. I put mine up next to his, and he's not that much taller than me, but his hand is much bigger and thicker, massive. It's like a mitt. But so that would probably be the second biggest hand.
Mhm.
Next to Jeff Tabe would be Cleve Dean.
Cleve Dean's hands. Yeah, that's yeah. I have small hands, so I can't really fathom holding big hands. Even the first time I gripped up in EVW 15 with Devin, because he was just giving me some. He didn't even give me the basics. He went straight to the advanced moves, Robert. He was telling me the advanced moves about how do you want to fake the guy? You want to make it
Yeah.
look like you're
So
losing, but actually pull.
yeah, Devin's the wrong person to come for training. So yeah, definitely the wrong person. The person you probably want to talk to is Bob Brown. Um, yeah, Devin will give you not only advanced training, but he'll give you what he's working on right now. So every evolution of where Devin's head is at,
Uh-huh.
it's like a different philosophy, which is actually a good thing for training because it's like periodization, or it's like your body adapts to things. Like if you do the
Mhm.
same things over and over, so you kind of lose a lot of your growth, or you know it's you get diminishing returns the longer you go without changing it up. So Devin's always changing things up. Okay, now this is the next new great thing, right? So if you catch him, like whatever point in history you catch him, he's gonna teach you the new big thing that he's excited about. So yeah, don't get your training from Devin.
I remember we grabbed it on the left hand, and
Mhm.
his two lower fingers, his pinky and his wedding ring finger, was over my watch.
Yeah.
That was how Devin's hands are pretty big too.
Oh, they're huge. Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
pretty.
Devins are big. Like Joe Rogan interview that you saw where Joe's like, "Man, Devin's hands were the biggest hand I've ever felt. His hand, when he shook my hand, it's like a catcher's mitt." Yeah, that's nothing compared to Cleve Dean and Jeff Dave.
Oh, man. Yeah, be really good. Um, oh, and before we forget, the some of the questions that I've already received about the rev share program. The details are everybody gets 5% off, right? Now, by percentage wise,
What
it
what
is
what you don't talk that way. You tell them in dollars, so it's $1 off and a
dollar.
dollar to the athlete.
Yes,
That's
or content creator
that's right.
or content creator. Yeah. So,
Yep. But it's $2 total, but a dollar goes to the customer, the person buying the pay-per-view, and a
right,
dollar for the athlete or the content creator.
right. And it's you get $3 off for the main event. Oh, sorry, for the extended pass, and another 3 goes to the athletes. So that one is obviously there's better margins on those, so that's why it's a bigger thing. And who knows? Maybe I can convince Robert to come pull it for the extended pass. We'll see. You'll only know if you buy it. You'll only know if you buy it. So that's it's I know it's been asked for quite a bit, but pretty soon, and I don't know how soon, but we are working towards that direction, which is why we changed to our Shopify store. And I know for some people who couldn't use the credit card system as through PayPal, we've switched it, about a week ago, and tried again. It should all work fine. Now, the idea behind Shopify and the reason why we had to migrate it is because there's a lot more functionality with Shopify than it is with our previous system. And a new system that hopefully we can get it set up tomorrow. We have an appointment to set it up tomorrow. Is that we're gonna have a uh, I was just at our manufacturers for our jerseys and everything. We're changing the quality and the fabric to be a little bit heavier. And one new thing is that we for the future, hopefully by tomorrow, if they were able to install it, the plugin, we can allow you guys to put your own name on our jerseys. So it will take maybe 2-3 weeks to get to where you are at around the world, but it will be fully customizable on the name at the back. So
Or
that's
could they pick their favorite athlete name to put on the back?
sure. Or I mean, they can just type their athlete's name on the back
Yeah.
if they wanted to.
So they just tell us whatever name they want on the back, whether
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
whether it's Levon or Saganashvili or Lared or whatever.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So that's kind of the new thing that we are working on, and then the other things that we are working on. Right. I think people like generally they like some sort of a rev share program. Some people call it affiliate marketing. We will also be extending this to our merch. For our jerseys, for our shirts, caps, whatever on our store. So.
Oh, something else we probably ought to talk about too is
Mhm.
we want to do our first fundraiser for
Yes.
Angie Bath. So a lot of people know her as Angie Rose before she was married to Ron Bath, but with all of her cancer treatments and it's been very expensive and they're just stuck. They have a lot of bills. So I talked to Ron, to ask if there's anything we can do to help there, and so that's something that we could do. And I think what we want to do, I haven't talked to you too much about it, Dexter, but I think we ought to do for pick a time period, say for a week or maybe even longer, where all the merch we sell, all the proceeds go to Angie Rose Bath for for her cancer treatments. So that's something I think we ought to do, and we probably ought to do that more often, to help athletes.
Yeah, I met Ron Bath and the stories he's a great guy.
Oh yeah,
Still
really.
pretty strong. Still pretty strong.
Oh, really strong. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then Angie, she's a champion. She's very good arm wrestler as well.
I was told and and I haven't lived that I wasn't around for that era, but I was told, and maybe you can confirm this, is that if John Berzing wasn't John Berzing or John Berzing did not exist, Ron Bath would be the GOAT.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Ron was right there with John. I mean, they went back and forth a little bit. Like so Ron was one of the guys that beat John. When somebody asked earlier, ever beat John in one practice pull, fresh for fresh. One of the times I beat him was before he went and pulled Ron Bath, and he didn't say a word. He lost to Ron Bath, and then he gave all the accolades. Like when the media I think it was Arm TV, Gary Roberts, I, asked, "Hey, what happened, John? Are you okay?" And he said, "Oh, no, Ron's arm felt like a telephone pole." So he just gave all the credit to Ron, even though I could beat him. So anyway, so that's the kind of guy John is. But even without, forget about that. Ron was right there, and I mean, he probably was the number 2 guy for that title at that time.
Mm, that's good. Another one. Let's have this be the final question. What about Giulia Pari? She was the WAF Women's Open Heavyweight Champion. Where do you think she currently ranks among our women's open weight division?
It's hard for me to gauge. I mean, because I don't know. That's one of the reasons why we have Snurjanis, who's actually in Europe and goes to all of the events and very close, especially with the women. That'd be a better question for her. But I think that she would do very well, but not with our top women. What we've seen with WAF is WAF champions aren't usually in fact, I don't know of a case where they have been on the top level for EDW. But that doesn't mean we don't want to get them involved. We do want to get them involved. But it would be very difficult for a WAF champion to beat or to be up in the top, you know, ranks. Women wise, more so because we have so much fewer women. But
Mhm.
for the men's classes, be very, very difficult for a WAF champion to compete with our, top, certainly top 5, top 10 probably be very
Yeah,
difficult.
yeah. So anyway, with that, any last thoughts, Robert, before you know we see you see all of you guys on Saturday for the award ceremony?
Yeah, is that what it is? This coming Saturday, huh?
Yeah, this coming Saturday, polls are closing in a couple of hours, so don't miss them. Like it's neck and neck on some categories, so make sure you vote in the next few hours because your vote might be the one that counts.
Yeah, great. I'm looking forward to seeing that too, and to
Yeah,
expanding the categories. I think we've talked about adding something for next
yeah,
year for this coming year.
yeah. A couple of things I do know is that talking with the team, we will have a light operator for Vienna. So this light operator, we have this on remote that it will follow the athlete as they're walking out during the walkouts before they hit on stage. And this time we have quite a decent distance. The one thing that I think we both talked about was having walkouts be a little bit more uh, unique and glamorous in a way. So what I'm proposing is that with the AV team is that the light now isn't as focused, it's a little bit wider, the spotlight gets a little bit wider and it tracks them. Also, the camera operator who's following them would also have a spotlight on them. And the athletes now can come out with like a small entourage, no more than 2 person. We don't want like 5 people behind him. Just like 2 more person who could probably have some props with him whatsoever. Nothing political, no, not self promotion for other brands whatsoever. But just something more unique. Uh, so that's because I know one of the categories we talked about was best walkout of the year. But because it wasn't as focused last year, because a lot of the athletes, the walkouts were relatively close. It wasn't as attractive. So this time, I think it'd be cool if athletes, every time I see boxing, especially boxing matches, those athletes come out. There have been time, Robert, that walkouts cost millions of dollars, millions of dollars for walkouts. Uh, you know,
Hmm.
But, I'm not saying we have to spend that much money, but the idea is walkouts can be part of the entertainment show. So
Yeah.
yeah.
We had some great walkouts this last year too.
Yeah, somebody's asking about if athletes will be coming out from the crowd. So yes, in Vienna, they will be coming out somewhat from the crowd. We do still have some sort of a railing to prevent people from being a little bit too enthusiastic, right? We don't want the guy jumping in front of him and taking a selfie in the middle of a walkout kind of thing. But the idea is they will be going through the crowd to a certain degree. So
That'll be kind of cool. I don't think we've ever had that before.
yeah, so that's kind of how we are doing. We are shaking things up just a little bit more. I mean, we are always trying to find ways to spice up our events. Uh, even we have also the same as COT 13. We have 2 LED panels as they're walking out, so that could be also modified.
Yeah. The other thing too, I like the idea of is to have polling in the pay-per-views so people can pick fight of the night or match of the night, where we're going to award money to the winners. And I think having the fans pick, because it's been really me and Serzana who pick the winners for the fight of the night or match of the night. But I really think that should be done by
Okay,
our
then
fans.
let's do that. Let's have it on our website, evwsports.com. As soon as the you guys can start voting as soon as the event starts, but at the end of the night, right, we'll quickly get those numbers and we'll make the announcement just before the event's over. And yeah, and which actually reminds me of one other thing, right? We are opening up match of the night sponsorship. So all the idea behind is that money it's like a bonus to the athletes for the match of the night, right? So sponsorships are open for that. In the past, it was just another thing that we did, but might as well give more attention to somebody who might be interested in. So
Yeah, and give more money to the athletes.
athletes, yep,
Yeah.
exactly. So with that, thank you everybody, and see you on Saturday.
Great. Thanks, Dexter.
Thanks.
Everybody.